Well, boss, because of the end result, you'll be disappointed, but there will be lots of mixed feelings, I imagine, from today.
No, my main feeling is disappointment, because in football it's always about the result, and it's not for the first time after a game that players, fans are disappointed. I think it was different today in a sense that we even had more ball possession than we usually have, and we created much more chances than we usually do with that ball possession. So that's probably what you mean with that there are also positives to take. But in the end, Burnley at home, with all due respect to them, but promoted side, we should be better. We should create more chances than them, but we should also win the game if you are Liverpool.
It seemed so much more balanced than, there was a point in the game where the crowd was singing about the Liverpool way, such was the appreciation of how you'd gone at it. It felt a bit different today, the performance here.
No, definitely. I think in the beginning of the season, when we started losing games, there were a lot of games where we created quite a lot of chances, but we conceded a lot as well. Then there was a period of time where we did not create as much anymore, but hardly conceded a chance, and that's in the run we are in now. That's why we haven't lost for a long time. And today I think we had a good combination of hardly conceding a chance and creating a lot, but still not able to win, and that is a frustration for everyone involved with Liverpool.
And just finally, those fine margins, you've spoken about them a lot, haven't you, this season? It's how to change them. It's the million-dollar question in many ways, isn't it? Is it a matter of luck? Is it just grit and determination that gets you out of that situation?
If it goes on as long as it goes on with us, because I don't think we've stolen any point this season, and so many times we've been on the wrong side of the score when it comes to performances. So then at some point you can argue if it's luck or bad luck, but again, players try to do everything till the end. We try to make offensive substitutions as well, and that's the way you try to force your luck. And in the end of the game, we were a few times very close, but close is not enough.
I think when you come to a place like this, you have to enjoy the experience. You have to enjoy the experience of playing at Anfield, and you give them a little bit of respect, but you don't roll the red carpet out for them. And I think in the first half we gave them a little bit too much, where they was picking up in areas where we didn't really like it, and then the second half we've come and played, I think, some good football in some areas.
Walks, it's Tim. I think that'll give you huge belief today, won't it, going forward? You would have wished your whole team would have done you a favour beating West Ham, but unfortunately they couldn't today.
Yeah, I've walked in and seen that West Ham have just scored a late winner, which is obviously a little bit disappointing for us, but it's not around other people. It's down to us. It's down to us, and it's up to the group of men that are in that change room to go and do something special this season. Obviously that's gave us a step in the right direction to where we want to finish in the end of the season, but we just have to keep going one game at a time, and let's see where we end up at the end of the season.
Hi, Carl, Paul Merson. Just want to say, how do you know, as a group, do you feel disappointed with the amount of points you got? Because bar probably the Brighton game away, you're always in matches. Do you know what I mean? You never get blown away. It's always by the odd goal. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's I think what we've said in the last couple of games. That's a disappointing thing, that each and every game we've been there and thereabouts. Obviously you need to take, in this league, you need to take your chances. When we get the chances, we need to take them and put them in the back of the net. But it's a positive that we're there, come the end of the game, in every game, and we need to make sure that, like today, we're going to take points when we can and we need to.
Walks, you're an experienced player in that dressing room. You're 7 points from safety. Is there still a belief there that you can get out of the situation you're in?
I've been at the opposite end of it, where we've been chasing teams, and you never say die. I think you go until the last kick of the game. I've won the Premier League in the last kick of game, or when we've been 2-0 down against Aston Villa. So I take that belief into this dressing room, because the lads are very honest lads. I can assure you that they're a very honest bunch of lads, and they'll die for each other, and that's what we need to do every game on the field. And whatever will be come the end of the season, but at least each and every one of us can look in the mirror at the end of it and say that we've given our all.
Walks, on a personal level, how much life is there in the old dog?
Some days less than others, I can tell you that. Some days I do feel a little bit stiff, but listen, I fully enjoy it.
Are you still the quickest man in the room?
I think Broge might have got me now. I think Broge or Lyle Foster might have got me, but it's disappointing to say that I'm not the quickest anymore, but I've fully enjoyed every bit of my career, and this is another learning curve for me. it's another learning curve and something that I'm fully enjoying.
And Carl, I don't feel I know you well enough to call you Walks, but just on that note, I mean, you've got Tottenham at home to come next, and then after that, it's West Ham at home as well. This is a very different challenge for you. We're used to seeing you winning trophies, winning titles as well. Very different kind of challenge, but nonetheless, are you enjoying it?
Yeah, listen, it's a different type of challenge. It's something that, come the start of the season, something that I was very involved in. Obviously, winning with Manchester City for so long and what I did and fulfilled in my career was an absolute privilege, but this is a different sort of challenge and it's one that I'm fully enjoying. You know, going into work every day, passing on my knowledge and, you know, putting myself up against it really. It's all right when you're having 90% of the ball and winning 2-3-0 every game, which I've been lucky enough to do, you know, not just at Man City, but, you know, at the right end with Tottenham and with Tim as well. But I'm really enjoying it. And there is still life in the old dog.
There certainly is, Carl. Really appreciate your time. Thanks ever so much.
Cheers, thanks, guys. Cheers, lads. Thank you. See ya. Bye-bye.
And 32 shots Liverpool had, 11 of them on target. That's the most of any Premier League game this season. And yet, with a missed penalty in there as well, they couldn't get all 3 points against the team second from bottom, Michael.
Yeah, look at those numbers. It's depressing viewing for Liverpool because, listen, they weren't brilliant today, but they're certainly good enough to win a game, but they're just not ruthless at the moment. Haven't been for some time now, most of the season, in fact. You never feel totally safe when they're one goal ahead. And despite, you know, their XG of nearly 3 goals there and Burnley hardly getting a chance, they walk away having dropped 2 points. So deeply frustrating. They need to start finding good performances again, rather like what we spoke about earlier with Manchester United. Results, yes, they're important. Yes, they need to get into the Champions League, but they could do with starting to play really well again, make Anfield a real tough place to come. At the moment, too many teams are going there thinking, you know, we've got a chance here. Even if we go 1-0 behind, they'll give us a chance. And Liverpool invariably do.
As I say, they missed a penalty in that first half, but they led at the break, all was going swimmingly. As a defender, Hugo Ekitike is not somebody you particularly want to come up against because he was at the heart of this goal, Jeremy.
Yeah, standing work from him, tenacious, determined, and then skill and quality, and a bit of composure at the end as well, just to roll it and to get something on target, and then picked up by Curtis Jones, but the finish, exceptional. Doesn't have much of the goal to shoot from, but yeah, Ekitike is probably the most consistent performer for Liverpool throughout the season. They have missed him when he's been out, but yeah, Wirtz is slightly finding a bit of form now.
Yeah, it's a lovely touch, isn't it, from Wirtz there, inside the box. It's the one area where he can take it into that's not going to, you know, get him tackled by a defender, but it actually gives him options. Once he pulls it onto his right foot here, outside of his foot, now he's got options. And I think going to the far post, there were so many bodies in the way, so he almost just wraps his foot round, you know, shapes to go one way and pulls it into the top corner. It was a lovely finish.
And that was their half-time lead, but for a team like Burnley, who've got 3 points from the previous 36, as Michael says, Peter, these sides are having belief now at Anfield that they can go and get something, and they did.
They had the opportunity to go in at half-time only 1-0 down. They came out really firing in all cylinders. And you can start talking about the way Liverpool defence are playing this season, and there are too many mistakes. Sometimes it's too easy. We discussed a little bit about Alisson on this one here from the shot from Marcus Edwards. Should perfectly exactly where it's supposed to be. Maybe if he stuck his foot out, would have saved that. But I mean, at the end of the day, they deserve that. I don't think the goalkeeper would say that. And at some point during that second half, I actually thought that Burnley was going to win this game because they kind of looked more likely scoring on counter-attacks. They looked really comfortable defending. And I mean, the stats are saying something else, 31 goals shot on target. But they looked comfortable. Liverpool kind of didn't look like scoring again. I mean, it's funny because we've been talking about since the start of the season, all these new players, they have to sort of become Liverpool players and perform like Liverpool players. And the two players that were always singled out was Wirtz and Ekitike. Ekitike started well, still playing well. Wirtz is playing really well now. really well, but somebody else is not playing well, so it's not kind of working.
But they can't play in defence, unfortunately, can they?
Well, exactly.
They are
That's the
too
funny
susceptible,
thing.
aren't they?
That's the funny thing. Everybody at the start was, and me included, when you're trying to search for a reason why aren't Liverpool at the levels they were last season, everybody said, oh, lots of changes, but actually, the best couple of players today were possibly Wirtz and Ekitike. Ekitike has been a star signing. In fact, I thought Kirk has played one of his better games today as well. So those three players have come in and actually done okay. Defensive, they've looked really, really shaky. Kanate, in the main this season, has been quite shaky. And they need to get back to the levels of last season. And that's a good thing about Liverpool. You know that these players, when on form, you know, they ran away with the league last season, absolutely waltzed it. So they are capable, they just got to rediscover it, which is probably easier than questioning whether they're good enough. These players are good enough, they just need to rediscover their form.
Just on the Burnley chances, actually the biggest chance in the game was Konate, nearly put in pass Alisson, and that is one of the things that's been going on for quite a while. It's something they absolutely need to sort out because they're giving too many goals away, and if you're not scoring, it's still 1-0 up at Anfield. You know, keeping a clean sheet is giving you the 3 points, so they need to sort that out. And they kind of look, I don't know what's going on there. Everything looks out of sync between Konate and Van Dijk. I don't know what it is. You're the expert.
But you're enjoying it.
No, I'm not. I'm not enjoying it. I'm not like
he's
that.
the expert defender.
I'm enjoying what
here to
happened
talk
earlier
about
on
goals.
today. Very much so, you know.
Yeah, no disrespect, but the Liverpool fans have probably heard enough from the Manchester United legend on there. What about Liverpool's hard defence, very quickly? What's the issue here?
Just inconsistencies, yeah. Looking at that goal there, I think Konate could move across, make it more difficult to get a shot off initially. But yeah, there's just no... they're not having much luck. It looks like low in confidence, and we speak from that point of view in regards to when you are low in confidence, you are a bit more tentative in your positioning, you don't feel as quick, as strong, so you want to be safe in your positioning. So yeah, he's probably trying to resist going a little bit wider to expose himself, and Van Dijk's the same. It's not just Konate, they're playing as a partnership and they don't seem to be in sync as much. They always seem to be isolated, and as a defensive partnership you can't be like that.
Okay.
Thank you, Steve. Thanks to Aldo as well for their efforts across the course of the afternoon. We're back down in our pitch-side position in front of the Kop. Jason McAteer, Phil Thompson are with me once again. And I think what we will say will echo a lot of what the boys have just said. Liverpool did not play badly today, Tomo, but ultimately it's kind of a slightly similar pattern. A result we don't want and a scoreline we didn't want.
You always felt that we needed another goal. I think the stats sort of tell you everything. There's been over 30 attempts at goal, a lot on target, which is not what we normally have. So that tells you in itself that at least the keeper's been making saves. We're having great chances, getting blocked shots. We missed a penalty. There was a lot of good things today. I said to you after about half an hour of the first half, I felt it was better today. It was a little bit quicker, still got to be quicker. There was things which were happening in the game when you went, yeah, now I can see they've been working on that in training, trying to attack quick free kicks just to keep things moving. But all in all, it's a draw. It's a draw against Burnley, and it's a game that we should have won, and we haven't. Same old story, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I felt, apart from a 10-minute spell in the second half where we just switched off, lack of concentration, they create an opportunity, Burnley, from our mistake. Tails were up and we never really then got a grip of the ball, never really dictated anything after that, and they slowly worked their way into scoring an equaliser. Apart from that, I thought it was a much better performance. I thought they got the ball down. I thought they were quick with the decision making. They moved it from side to side a lot quicker. As Tomo alluded to there, they created a lot of opportunities, 31 attempts on target, or 31 attempts at goal. And they've only scored one. Had they scored the penalty, it might have been a different result at the end of the day, but it wasn't. Tomo's right. We're still at that point where a 1-0 lead is still very slender for us, and there's still opportunity for the opposition to get back into it, which is what they did today, but only in a 10-minute spell. Apart from that, there was a lot of good stuff played by Liverpool. It was just really frustrating. We've drawn.
The 10 minutes was awful.
Yeah.
If I'm perfectly honest. That 10 minutes, we were sloppy in possession. There was no energy, there was no drive. There was people actually standing on the, just standing and watching the ball go around instead of moving, getting, maybe not getting that pass, but then getting the next one after it. It just seemed as though, well, we're 1-0 up and the second one will come. And it was a 10-minute spell where they felt, we've got a chance here. If we're going to score, it's going to be now. And they did, they got it. And you go, oh wow, here we got it. And then all of a sudden, we kicked into gear again. And we had a lot more possession, a lot more shots. But it's just that we've got to win these games. Now, we've seen before it, it's Concertina and behind us, we're now only a point at Man United. But I think it's down to 10th. There's only 5 points between us and them. So we need to win these home games.
How do you avoid that drop-off after the break? It's not the first time this season where there's been a dip. Good in the first half, good tempo, good energy, and then it wasn't there after the restart. And even when the goal went in for Burnley, it didn't feel like there was a big reaction from the players. There was only Virgil really speaking. I think you'd want to see a bit more anger at that point, maybe, or maybe that's the wrong word for it, I don't know, but energy.
I think we've got no narcs in the team. We've got no people who sort of, I'm not saying nasty, but you know, your Hendos, your Milners, Luis Diaz, God bless him, Diogo Jota, who throw an elbow at a defender and get angry with them and sort of upset people. We don't seem as though we want to upset people. We don't seem, there's not too many of us who want to put that tackle in which will get the crowd up. I haven't seen a sort of really robust tackle, maybe Ibu now and again. But it's those things which we amble through games, and at times you might just lose a goal, as we did today, and then you're going, oh, here we go again. And we've got to try and pick it up. So within 5 minutes after the goal, you've seen us getting back into action, just like cranking up the pressure again. It's just not good enough consistently throughout the 90 minutes.
That's what I alluded to when I finished with, we just need to be horrible. And we obviously didn't have time to elaborate on it because we were finishing the show. It was the end of the pre-match, wasn't it? But Tomo's just touched on it there. You know, I just feel Liverpool are at the point now where we're just a nice team. I think teams enjoy playing against us. Yeah, they move us about and they can little tippy-tappy football in, out, goes out to the side, comes back in, little into the front man, back out, Verta's on it, little flicks and tricks, and then it's this and that. It's like if you've got a good solid shape, which Burnley did for quite a lot of the game, that's actually quite easy to play against because you're like, well, go on, because the keeper's not doing anything. You're not putting balls in the box. You're not asking us any questions. It's all in front of us. It's all in, back, out to the side, then back to the centre half, and then back in, and then it's like Tomo alluded to it in the pre-show, right? And it happened time and time again. The amount of times I thought about him saying it, it's like when Jeremy Frimpong is being fronted up, and he's got a 2-on-1 situation where there's 2 defenders against him. All he's got to do is turn and just roll it, right? And then the ball comes in. The amount of times they ignored that opportunity again today was phenomenal. The amount of times I shouted, roll it back, roll it back, roll it back, and they just didn't. Just wrong decision making. But you've got to put the horrible balls in, keep putting them in, keep asking questions, keep asking centre halves to head the ball, keep asking the keeper, are you going to come and collect it? Are you going to come and punch? Are you going to centre halves deal with it?
Things though, it's horrible in the sense of making defenders do what they don't want to do, but also being horrible as in being a bit more aggressive, a bit let's say the word narky, or being a bit more angry at times, a bit more.
I've never seen us put a tackle in the middle of the pitch today. The game goes by, if we can't just sort of tow a ball to somebody, great. We don't. I think Kirk has made 1 tackle in the first half. And then the next one he puts a tackle in. It was in their box, but I can't remember a sort of proper tackle in the game. And I'm not saying that's the be all and end all, but balls into the box. Why is it that it's always one of the opposition who gets to it? We're going, never falls for us. We're never angry enough to go and put our foot in there to sort of somebody to kick it against us to keep the ball bouncing about in the box. It's just not falling our way at the moment, but we've got to make that happen.
If you talk about the great Liverpool teams, and even Jurgen's team, because they were horrible at times as well, he built a team that was in the mould of the great legend teams that we've had here. opposition players, when I used to go away and talk to players that used to come here with other teams and stuff, you'd go, what was it like going to Anfield and playing it? And they'd go, it's just horrible. And you go, why? And it was not because they got footballed off the park, because if they put a challenge up to Liverpool, they get horrible. You go through the history, you got Case, Souness, McMahon, Whelan. You go through them, they were just horrible players. Even Spackers, horrible. You know, because they could mix it, they could play when they had to, but when it wasn't going their way, they just trample all over you to get the results. And that's what that culture and desire and mentality is of being a winning team. You know, they just don't give it up.
There's no anger.
Yeah.
Out of our lads. Jake's probably right. We're too nice. There's no anger there from anybody's angry. Now you see Virgil going like that, but I don't like players when they go to the crowd and start that's not anger, that's not sort of passion in my mind. I like to see people even verbally getting really angry. The opposition with themselves doesn't happen.
I know we create. The game's moved on. Listen, you know, probably some of them players might even watch this and go, oh, right, well, it's not like that anymore. It's not. The game's moved on. We're a different athlete now. They're a different footballer. There's a different mentality. But there's still a place in the game to question each other. There's still a place in the game to say, that's not good enough. Like, I played with some great leaders on the pitch. Roy Keane, who demanded on the pitch that you give 120%. He demanded it. Tomo was one of them players. Soon as like they demand, and it's just they question you. There's still a place in the game for that. And I listened to Tomo there, and when you look at the performance, like sloppy balls are given away. Who is having a go at each other? Who is pointing fingers and going, that doesn't happen again? You know, Jordan Henderson. I go back to Jordan Henderson. I made a comment when we were talking about Mo Salah. I was away doing another TV content, and I questioned. I said, do you know what? You talk about Mo Salah, and he's not this isn't a one-man team. We didn't have all this success because of Mo Salah. We had this success because we had 15 clean sheets from Ali. We had a really good back four. We had a leader in Jordan Henderson. We had other players creating things. It was a collective why we won it. Don't get me wrong, Mo Salah's numbers were phenomenal, but we didn't win the league just because of them numbers. We won the league because we had a bit of everything. And a bit of everything is leadership from Jordan Henderson, James Milner, even Adam Lallana when he was here for a little bit, Robbo. You know, they all added into that leadership. And that leadership is questioning each other when it's not going well. You've got to pull the best out of each other. You've got to ask questions, haven't you? You've got to put people accountable. You've got to hold players accountable.
I think it's always important. We do these shows to try and strike balance with everything.
Yeah.
And I think it's really fair that we make that kind of point about today, because that was missing in part of the match. But then the funny thing is, actually, as we started with, it was better in a lot of elements. That's kind of what's more frustrating, is the fact that first 45 minutes, there was a lot of nice stuff. And as you both pointed out, you look at the stats from today's game, we'll bring them in for you now. The numbers aren't bad. They're much better than some of the other games we've had like this. So if this was one game in isolation where we drop points against a promoted team, or what you would call a lesser team, then you could kind of excuse it. But because it's happened a few times, it becomes more of a bigger debate. But you look at the numbers there, look how much of the ball they've had, look at the shots they've had, the shots on target, the XG, the big chances, all those things are better than we've had in a lot of these games.
We've got through this block, but we've not just took our chances. We've got to be more clinical. We've got there because we've all wanted more sort of excitement. 11 attempts at goal is just, I think, 32 shots altogether. That tells you there's something going on. It's quite exciting. But it's the 11 on target, which is the big thing. But it's not enough. You have to win games. You have to give these people, and we're not doing that at the moment. And that's what's coming out of Jason myself. There's frustration of a game that you should have won, and there's another one that's passed you by. It's 4 draws, and the number of points, if we could have had those, and we should have won them all, by the way. It doesn't matter how we played. We should have won all those games. And it tells you its own story.
Yeah, them stats and what we're looking at there, that tells you the football's better, right? Which is a massive positive, because the football hasn't been great at times, but that tells you the football's better. It was quicker. There's lots of positives about today's game, but we didn't win it. Why didn't we win it with them stats? Because there was something missing. What's missing? And it's what we're talking about. It's like who's going to grab the game by the scruff of the neck? Who's going to point a finger and go, that doesn't happen again? Or get down the line, get wide, get it in. Who's going to? There's none of that. It's kind of like we just we play nice.
Sometimes today it was we were trying to score the perfect goal.
Yeah.
It was keep it, cross, just in there. Jeremy gets byline, pulls it back, and he strikes it. It's all with sort of 25 passes, with every sort of move, and it was though, because you're playing against a packed defence. We were looking at it, and sometimes, and it was amazing. It was about 10 yards, the whole of their 10 players from the edge of the box. That, just think about that, is hard to sort of break it down. And again, another team, 5 at the back, literally rigid 5 at the back, and it's sort of stopping us. Everybody's piled into their own, but it's working for teams, and we're going to have to be like this right the way through to the end of the season.
I thought, to give Burnley credit, I thought they did it well today, and they threw the body on the line. There were some blocks on the line as well. They were getting people in a line and dealing with a lot of the threat. They rode the luck a couple of times. What you have to do when you set up like that?
That you should expect.
Yeah.
And I think it's quite easy to coach a team like that, defensive. They pushed up when we were trying to build it out, but as soon as if we were slowing it, bang, they were all back there. And it's just get back there, make sure you're back, make sure you head everything, you kick everything. They threw bodies on the line, the blocked shots. It was just, that should be the least that you expect. And everybody says, oh, we defend that and we deserve something. No, we deserve to win the game. We were by far the better team. So them defending it, so it should be when you've got that many bodies in the box, throwing yourself in front of the ball all the time. Yes, it's, Scott Parker won't take any great accolades and say how well we've done, but he'll go, I'd expect it when everybody's in front of the behind the ball.
32 shots by Liverpool today. It's the highest number of shots attempted in a single match by any side in the Premier League this season. So again, something to underline. This wasn't a poor performance. What you did find towards the end, some of those shots, there was McAllister one from distance that was you're running out of ideas. Is there a problem when you have a few games like this, which we've had, where the belief sucks out of both the team and the fan base? You saw a few people making for the exits a little bit early. We hadn't seen that for a long period of time, because there was always that belief, well, where it's 92, 93, 97, then we're scoring a goal here. Because we've done it so often in the last 5 years.
It's following a trend, isn't it? We are seeing this. How many draws is that in the spin? Is that 3 league draws? 4 league draws, yeah. It's becoming a trend, and you do end up running out of ideas, and you do end up taking pot shots. I mean, Dominic Szoboszlai had one from about 45 yards. Everyone was just going no, and he hit it. And and then McAllister has one, Frimpong balloons one over the bar. You just get a little bit desperate, don't you? And you're just searching for it. But
we can go through the team, Mark. There's a lot of good performances today.
Yeah, there was.
We're standing here and it's frustration from us. We're like all the fans. We feel frustrated, and we're looking at probably all the things which we believe sort of tactically has gone wrong here today. But you look all around the team and you go, there's some good performances. Yeah. There was some who looked a bit tired, but certainly Jeremy Frimpong, Kerkez, good. We were saying, for Jeremy, we wanted some better crosses. There was better crosses today, I believe. Pullbacks, finding people. Kerkez looked energetic and sort of getting forward and delivered far better balls. And there was a lot of sort of good displays today.
Yeah. There was a lot of good stuff today.
But that's what I'm saying. It's almost, you have to separate two different things. So it's the first time since 80-81 that Liverpool have failed to beat any of the 3 promoted sides at home. But if you took this performance here today against Burnley and compared it to the game against Sunderland or the game against Leeds, this was probably the best of the 3 performances. This one, they didn't deserve to drop points, whereas maybe Sunderland, for example, at least they maybe did. So that's the difference. So we can look at it in isolation and say today is not the issue per se, but it's the trend across the season.
It's a trend, because what we're seeing now, which we haven't seen for a while, is this. And we talked about it. We made a big thing, and the boss mentioned it. Is this low block? This low block. Everybody's doing it now. I think more now than ever I've seen. And it's not just against us. It's about Man City. It's about Arsenal. Teams do it. We are only just finding our way, sort of how to break them down. It's come at a time when we've got a lot of draws there. So the big thing is, don't lose faith with the manager, with the staff.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's got to be there. This, you can see, we're unbeaten in 12. Yeah, it's not been great. We said it before the game, but we are on this run, so we've got to persevere. All the fringe players who got brought in this year are starting to perform.
Well, on that, if we're looking for things to take forward from it, the goal today comes from Florian Wirtz. He continues to increase his numbers as the season goes on, and you watch the games and you see the way he becomes more important. They get the ball to his feet, things can happen, little touches around the corner, looking for the pass. He's such a great option, and you just want to see that develop, and other players get on the same wavelength more and more, because that's the ring to really cling to in the second half of the season, isn't it?
He sucks you in, doesn't he? He's like, you want him on the ball all the time. It's just the way he plays, his balance, his vision, his touch, what he sees, his movement, you know, and then his end product. I mean, he very, very rarely gives it away, does he? He's got some lovely ability about him. Yeah, and his goal was great, wasn't it? He smashes it into the top corner.
I think his goal was great, because we were looking at it, and Dubravka, the Burnley goalkeeper, had made about 3 or 4 saves all to his left-hand side,
yeah.
and he's gone, that's a good eye for him. And lo and behold, Flo's just gone like that and whipped it in the near post. It's probably done him.
But also as well, today there was probably, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 sort of moments like that where the ball's dropped in the penalty box in a similar sort of distance, and it's either been blocked or the connection. Frimpong had a few where it wasn't good. McAllister had one late on which he put somewhere God knows where, whereas Wirtz in that moment had the awareness, has the quality, and he whips it past Dubravka.
Listen, like Tomo said, and I just want to reiterate what he said, we're not here, being very critical of the team, and we're not here to have a real go at them. What we are is we're a little bit frustrated, because that was a really good, for me, a good footballing performance, and one that has been coming, and you just wanted them to get rewarded for that. But if you want to be a great team, as this team have been under different managers and through the history, you have to have something more about just being a good footballing team. The complete package is the mentality of winning, how to win, how to grind the results out. This team is not there yet. This team is where they were today. This team they can put a good performance in, but they can still get stung and still draw the game, as they can at Leeds, as they can at Fulham, as they can at Sunderland. Liverpool, great Liverpool teams don't get beaten in them games. They just don't. Now, that's not to say this team's not going to go on and be a great team. It's got the potential and the foundations to do that. Of course it has. It's got some fantastic, wonderful players. It's got, I think, a really good tactical manager who knows what he's doing. They just need a bit of time, and that will come, I think. I think that will come. I think the players will figure that out. I think there's enough in that dressing room to think.
I would like to think against better teams, we could find a way to beat these lesser teams. That seems to be an issue. And this is a team which is growing. So we have to sort of be patient as it's going. And I know that's hard. People will be going, we should be beating these teams. Yeah, I get it. But we're on this cycle where we're moving forward. Yeah. But I think coming against, when teams play 4 at the back, as Arsenal did, how well we played down there, it's not often we play against a 4 anymore. It's like from sort of 5th, from 6th and 7th down, everybody's playing 5 at the back against us to sort of put a low block. Go on, now you've got to beat us, and we'll hit you, either on the break or with a set piece. So we're learning that way, and I feel like this team is delivering at the moment. It's all not right, but it is, because as I say, and people who are going to watch the match, it's not bad. There's been a lot of chances there. It's just frustrating.
As Tom mentioned at the top of the show, things are sort of concertinaing up in the Premier League. So let's just show you what's happened today elsewhere in the division.